everybody, and welcome to Techno V, the #1 channel for your tech tutorials, news, and reviews. My name is Viraj Das, and in this tutorial, we will be creating an artificial intelligence app using Python. So, what will it do? Well, this AI app will detect human faces. Now, before you panic or decide that this is way too hard, let me tell you this. This tutorial is completely beginner friendly. Even if you've never heard of Python before, you can still follow along. So, what will you need? Well, of course, you'll need a computer, a decent Wi-Fi network, and super important, you might not think this is important, but it's really important, a webcam. It can be attached into your computer, or an external one works too. Alright, I'm gonna give you a moment to get all that stuff. Pause! Unpause. Alright, you back? Are you ready? Good. Let's get started. Welcome to my computer. So, the first thing we're gonna do in this legendary project is we're gonna open up a browser. It could be any browser. I'm using Chrome. So let's open it up. And we'll go to the website jetbrains.com/PyCharm. I'll put the link in the description below. But JetBrains has developed an IDE, which is basically a code editor, named PyCharm. And this IDE is my favorite out of every Python IDE I've ever tried. Of course, I've not tried all of them, and this is just my opinion, but this is what we're going to use in today's video. So, we're going to click the blue button that says download on it. And depending on your operating system, whether Windows, Mac, or Linux, you're going to choose to download the Community Edition. Don't download the Professional unless you're willing to spend some moolah, some money. So, I'm currently running Mac, so I'm going to choose Mac OS. And I'm not using an Intel chip. This is really important. If you're not using an Intel chip, if you have Apple Silicon, you're going to click Apple Silicon. And down in the bottom left corner, it will start downloading. So while it's downloading, we're going to go to another website. And this time, it's GitHub. Also, link in the description below. So we're going to the GitHub repository, opencv. And opencv is the Python library that we're going to be using to create our AI today. And the data that we need is under the data, Harcascades, and we need Harcascade frontal face default.xml. This is the file we'll be using. It's pre-trained data and everything. So opencv makes it super easy for us to just dive into AI right now. But there's no way to download that singular file, so we're gonna have to download the whole repository. But that's no problem, right? So we're gonna go download zip. Again, bottom left corner, you can see that it's downloading. And I can see that PyCharm has done downloading. And in downloads, PyCharm, so when you click it, then it will take you to an install screen. Just keep clicking next, change the settings that you like. Don't share your data unless you really want to. And hit install. It might take some time to install, so then just pause the video and come back when it's done. But I already have PyCharm installed, so I'm just going to move on. Next up, the opencv zip file has installed. Let's see what's inside. First of all, we have to unzip it. So, bada bing, bada boom, it's unzipped. Inside, you can see that everything that was on the cloud, GitHub, has now been downloaded locally on my computer. So then, once your PyCharm is installed, we can finally open it. Here's the legendary moment that starts our project. Remember this. Remember this your whole life. So, here is the Welcome to PyCharm screen, and we're going to click New Project. And now we can name it. You can name this project whatever you want. Whatever you want. I'm personally going to name it I see you because it detects your face, so it's literally seeing you. Now I'm going to hit create. Now, if you've never used PyCharm, this, at first, the interface might overwhelm you a little. Don't be overwhelmed. It's actually really easy. So this main area here is where you code. I code here. No, I spelled that wrong. I code here. Yay! See, it's fun. But yeah, so this main area is for coding. Then you have this hierarchy to the left, where you have your virtual environment, right? First you have your project. Then under that you have your virtual environment, where all your libraries are stored. Then of course you have your Python file. And if you had selected start with a main.py file in the project setup at the very beginning, or by default, it will create a main.py file right out of the box for you to get started in. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to install our library, which is opencv Python. So you can just search up opencv Python and go to the pypy.org, or and just copy it from here, or you can type it. I personally like to type it because it gives me that terminal experience, and I love that terminal experience. So pip and install, and now you're gonna write opencv-python. Got that? Pip install opencv-python. We're gonna hit enter and just sit back, relax, and watch it download. All right, now that we have the library installed, now we have to import it into our code. So, how do we do it with Python? It must be so hard, right? Nope. To import it into our code, all we have to do, import. That was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Oh, that was so hard. Okay, so import. Now we have to specify what to import. We're going to import CV2, which is, OpenCV, so CV2. Then, the next thing we're going to do, we are going to right-click in the hierarchy, and we are going to open in, and then whatever your file browsing software is. If it's Explorer, I'm on Mac, so I have Finder. And we have the project opened right here. Then, remember we downloaded the opencv files? Let's just pull up, actually, no. Let's just, for data storage and not wasting any space, let's go under data here, right? Then har cascades. Make sure it's har cascades, otherwise this whole thing won't work. Then we are going to find har cascade frontal face default. Got that? Then just move it, move. Are you kidding me? This thing won't move. And now it's opening. Okay. We're just gonna move it. There we go. Move it into our project file. Then we can just close the file and delete everything because we don't need the rest of it. Yeah, we don't want you anymore. Okay. Now, you'll see, if you did this right, it will magically pop up in your hierarchy. Well, it's not magic. It's technology. Next up, we're going to set a variable. And the variable is going to be called cascade. And we're going to be calling from the library CV2. So we're going to do CV2. We're going to be calling a function named cascade classifier. And this function is going to, classify your cascade. So you basically have to define which cascade you want. And in our case, we want har cascade frontal face default.xml. So we're just going to type that. But you know what? That's a long name. We're smart people here, right? Let's just right-click, rename, just copy that name. And don't forget to put it in quotes. because this is in a string format. So inside brackets, inside quotes, you're gonna type or copy and paste HardCascade frontal face default.xml. You need that .xml so it knows what file type it is. Then we are going to get the code to look through our camera, right? Our camera. So we're going to do cam, another variable, equals, then we're calling from the CV2 library again, CV2 dot video capture. Now, here's an important thing. If you're using a laptop and your laptop comes with an inbuilt webcam, just put a 0 in there. But if you have an external webcam, or your PC, or your laptop and you're using external webcam, then try 0. If it doesn't work, try 1, 2, 3, and just keep trying to see what works, okay? For me, I'm going with 0 because my webcam is on my laptop. Then, while true. So this line basically sounds like it sounds. While true. While what's true? While everything's true. So forever, basically, we are going to set two variables. Underscore, that's not an underscore, is that? Okay, underscore and frame. We don't need the underscore, but, well, we need it there, but we're not going to use it later on. So, frame. The frame is actually the value from our camera. We're going to read it. We're going to go pixel by pixel, inspect it, right? Then, we are going to change the frame to gray. And how are we going to do this? CV2. Love that library. All right. So CV2.convert, so CVT color. But what are we converting? Well, we are converting frame, right? And what are we going to convert it to? Well, gray. But why gray? Well, AI finds gray easier to identify faces with and everything just than normal color. So it's in your best interest and my best interest to go with gray. Makes it easier, makes it more accurate, and then just display it on top of the color. So basically we're going color, gray, AI, turn back to color. That's basically the order of how we're going to do this today. So we're applying gray to frame, but it still doesn't know what to apply to gray. So CV2 dot color BGR to gray. So you know RGB, red, green, blue, that basically makes up everything in like all colors, right? But now we have CV2, which actually doesn't use RGB, it uses BGR. So that's why BGR 2, right? So we're converting BGR to gray. Simple as that, right? That was easy. Next up, we are going to define faces. And face is a variable, right? And faces is going to be the cascade variable that we made earlier. The CV2 train data. And we are going to do another variable, detect multiscale. And we are going to detect the faces gray. So we are detecting the faces from the gray image, the gray real-time video that we're giving it. So gray. And then we're just going to pass the parameters 2 and 4. So 2 is for, otherwise if you do a lower number, that's fine too, but it won't be as accurate. So these are just for accuracy. Then, now, the AI has found your face, but it still won't show you that it's found your face. So, what we're going to do, it's a for loop. For loops are awesome. Then, we're creating 4 variables, x, y, w, and h. And So for X, for Y, for W, for H, in faces, we are going to use CV2 to create a rectangle. And so we're going to create a rectangle, but there's some more stuff we need to pass in as parameters. So we're going to create a rectangle on top of the frame. Then, remember we did for X, Y, W, and H? So now we have to pass where are we going to put it. So X, Y is the first point we're going to put it at. Then we have X plus W and Y plus H, which is going to be the second point we're going to be putting it at. So now we have 1 point here and 1 point here. So I'm pretty sure you can imagine a rectangle connecting 2 points, right? Next up, we have to pass in the color. And remember, this is BGR, not RGB. So just flip the R and the B, okay? So at first, we want blue. I personally don't want the frame to be blue. If you want it, if blue is your favorite color, then yeah, just go 255, 0, 0, 0, 0, okay? And then if you want it green, then 255 here, right? Or if you want it red, 255 here. Or if you want to mix, put multiple values. I want it yellow, so I'm mixing green and red. So 255 in the middle, 255 on the last one. Then I'm going to define the thickness. For me, I'm just putting 1. Then, what's the point in naming it ICU if we can't have any fun with it? So, CV2 dot put text. What do you think this does? If you answered, it's gonna put text on the screen, then you are correct. It's basically telling the library, okay, CV2, I want you to put text on the screen, right? So the first parameter, of course, it needs where are we gonna put the text, like on which window, so frame. Then what text are we gonna put? So since I named the project ICU, why not ICU? Make it kind of creepy. Then the location. So I'm putting it where X is, and 10 minus where Y is. And you'd think minus is going down since the Y-axis is up and down, but actually in this scenario, -10 is actually going up. Then you have 1 as what font you want. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a bunch of fonts. Just try out whichever font you like. I'm going with 1. Then we have the font scale, like it says up here. So how big the font? How big is the text? I'm going with 1.5. Then we have the color, right? I am going with white, full on white. I think it looks good. You can do whatever colors you want. Remember, same principles from the rectangle is just here, okay? And finally, the thickness, 2. All right, we're almost done. We're almost done. You are about to be done with creating your first AI ever, but we're not done yet, okay? We're very close. So cv2.imshow. So we're gonna show the image, but it's not an image in our case. It's video capture, right? And we are going to show frame, okay? And sorry. We are showing frame, but the first thing we have to do, okay, look up here. You see this ICU dash main.py? This is the title of the window for PyCharm, right? So we get to set our own title. I'm gonna put ICU and then my name, right? Now, if you go ahead and hit run right now, you see that it'll pop up for a second and go away immediately. But that's because we're not telling it to wait. So we're gonna do key. We're setting a variable named key, and we're calling cv2 dot and then wait key. Wait key. And I'm gonna pass in 1 as a delay. Then, so we can just go with this cv2.wait key and it'll work, but I want to take it to the next level. I'm gonna do if. Here's an if statement. So if this and this happens, then do this, right? So if key equals, then the keystroke of Q stands for quit. So then break. Break means break out of this loop, program done. And literally, program done. You just coded your first AI. Now it's time to test. We hit this. Hopefully no error. Oh. I see you. There it is. It works. You just coded your first AI. Congratulations! As you can see, it's saying I see you up in the upper left corner of this box. You have the box itself, and you have you. So, the AI is actually detecting your face. You built an AI. My mind is blown. Like, your first artificial intelligence app. Though, just building something doesn't mean you learn anything. So I hope in this video you learned something, and that I gave you a new perspective on future technologies. But either way, don't forget to smash that like button, demolish the bell icon, and completely obliterate the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Till next time.